Hello, my friend. If you don't know what this channel about, uh, recently I've got to know a lot of TV shows, which is basically just a story uh, that is being told by some woman uh, who basically got childhood with uh, some, let's say, childhood love, and she's still trying to memorize, and everything just reminds her of that uh, period of her life. And this TV show, uh, the movie Light, Light, is basically the same type that I have just described you, and this is basically uh, a story of uh, Maria and Mimi. So two women who got involved in a relationship like 20 years ago in Finland, and there was some small village when they were spending summer break, I guess. So this is how it's going, and from the very beginning you can actually see the arrival of second woman, who is Mimi. So after she arrived, she got the same. Let's say, she got her life basically consists of grandmother, no parents. Like, this is Mimi, and this is one of the most interesting and, of course, main characters of this movie. And why I think this is something you should pay attention to, because the reality of their lives, it's so similar. It's so similar to, like, European region these days, because this reality is actually something people experiencing right now, because it's not only because of the tragedy that happened 20 or something years ago with Finland and Ukraine. They're so close. So this movie specifically showcasing how accident on the nuclear power plant just caused a lot of let's say caused a lot of chaos, and something like people would never live the same lives they used to, and a lot of people just escaped that place forever and never came back, let's say. But this movie is actually about people who live in Finland. So this is basically just a borderline area with Ukraine, and somehow they managed to adapt to this lifestyle. Let's say a lot of radiation, a lot of consequences from that accident with nuclear power plant. And we have a lot of different interesting dialogues between main characters, and Maria herself just doing perfectly her storytelling. She is the main storyteller of this movie, and she's trying to kind of record everything she thinks might be useful for people who will probably learn how to survive in this type of environment, and multiple times they mention like this movie as a whole is kind of survival guide for for others. So, and that is interesting because all families who still live there, they don't really seem like they actually enjoy being alive. Even they have all their like abilities to live the same life as every other human being, but still it feels so real because it's just so familiar to me, because I have a lot of places in my country. In the first place, I have lived for a long time in the same type of city, like small town, small village or something, and I know exactly how it feels when everything just frozen, everything stopped, and there's nothing actually seems like alive. Everything just looks like dead. So, and this movie is perfectly reflecting on that aspect of living in small places like this. And these two girls, they are kind of the instruments of authors and writers who were trying to tell us the different side of that story, because of course the main tragedy was on Ukraine solid, and that was the main accident with nuclear power plant, but it influenced and it caused some, of course, it had a lot of consequences, not only in that country, but in some borderline areas. So, yeah, these two girls, and later, 20 years later, they are, not they, but Maria is a woman, and she arrives back to that place, and she's trying to still get it passed, because she never got it passed. She never forgot that tragedy, and especially what happened after they had been together on that summer break, because there happened another tragedy, and of course we're gonna talk about that tragedy later, because This is a huge twist, and this is a huge spoiler, so we're not gonna jump to that moment right away. What I really love about the vibe and how they served the idea of not only survivability in that area, but also how relationship got worse in almost every members of that village or that area of Finland, and especially not Maria's, but the other girl who's Mimi. Her family is just pretty poor, broke family. As I've said before, there is no mother, just a drunk father who's basically her dad. He's basically never ever paid any attention to how his daughter should be raised, so this is how it's just typical for this type of villages or small towns, when your family consists only of like mother or just one parent. So, and at this point, always some type of trauma happens, like, and with Mimi, it's basically the feeling of being unwanted, because she feels like she has no friend, and from the very beginning we can see how difficult for young adult to survive, actually, not only within the that area of where happened that tragedy with nuclear power plant, but to adapt to this life where you only have one friend and one grandmother, probably this is just so hard. And we can see the life of typical young adult who got no who got no fulfillment in her let's say in her life when it comes to everything. And this fulfillment could have been if your father just pays a little bit attention, right? Like it's not like she's completely alone or something, and she still has her grandmother, she still has her friend Maria, and this relationship, basically from the beginning, it seems like it's only friend relationship. It's not something bigger, and there is no way it could have been something bigger. But at some point we can see how the only friend you have could become that loved one, because you have no other option, right? And if you could not get that love from your family, from your parents, because there is just no way you can get treated well when you have only one father who is basically a drunk and ignorant parent. And they got involved so quick in that relationship where they found themselves falling in love with each other. But this is not only about two people who found themselves unwanted, because Maria is also, she at least she has a full family with two parents. Her mother, father, they love her a lot, and we can see how they actually interact and spend some time together. This is not like something Mimi ever got. This is just nothing close to what Mimi experiences, because their lives just basically so different. But at the same time, when you see someone struggling like that, you know, you can easily empathize, and this could become something bigger, because when you see that person in trouble, you're trying to help, right? And you get close and this could be something like you could fall in love with that person. So this is not a surprise, and this is not a big surprise with this movie, because it was promoted as something with lesbian relationship, but it was promoted long ago, because this movie actually from 2023, and it was released initially in Finland, but I've got it only like a few days ago, because I just skipped a lot of stuff from 2024 2023, because I prefer just picking something that is really worth my time, and I didn't want to spend a lot of my live streams on something like I didn't really know if it's gonna be good or not, but I was 100% sure that this movie was gonna be something I would like, and it turns out exactly like I said, because this type of characters, whatever they do, they will be interesting, because in the first place, this movie is just so easy to watch. I mean, like, it's so simple, and it's not trying to be too serious or something, and of course it's not that it's not any there's nothing from like comedy genre. It's only like a drama with hints of I don't know, like some type of drama with different genres and all that mixed together. Like, you can see how perfectly it's implemented, because there are not a lot of actually good movies like this, and I prefer actually to talk about movie from 2023 instead of getting something from 2025 or 2024 that I don't really like, but it's so hyped, but there's no way I could prioritize something just because it's so hyped, but not really good. And when I rate any movie or TV show, I only pay attention to characters, because storyline could be actually bad. It could be not even like, it could be even not that important in the first place if your characters pull off the whole thing, If you have at least one good character and some supportive characters for that main character to communicate and create that story, it would work without even complicated storyline. I mean, like, script could be simple, and we have that simple script because all the situations, it's basically we see two young adults spending time on the summer break. They have no other duties to be on. They have no work to be at, and they have only this relationship, and they have their families. But how they spend this time together, it's served and it just wrapped in that perfect style, when you can see and feel every moment, because I think because it's just that simple in the first place, and not too much vulgarity. There's no luxurious stupid shit like a lot of movies have in 2024, 2025. I cannot stand anymore that type of movies, and I actually found myself liking more something like I don't know, something like this instead of stupid overhyped shit with luxury lives and relentless stupid characters who have no idea what they are doing, but they have no idea, they are not just interesting characters in the first place. And of course, something with this movie, light, this is what it's called. Something is a little bit exaggerated. For example, this plate with food, it is exaggerated, right? Because I don't think anybody sane could have done something like this with your relative, because okay, it's not your daughter, but it's someone you live with, right? How could you explain this happen? I have no idea that could have happened. I have no idea how that could happen in real life. When you despise your daughter or your uh, your the member of your family like this with this amount of food on the plate. I mean, like, this is so stupid and a little bit exaggerated, because even in the worst scenarios, I don't think that the food and the amount uh, of food for every member could be a case. Even in the worst scenarios, uh, it always seems more like, uh, I don't know. I just didn't see anything like this. And I know a lot of people, and I lived with some who have no uh, money on actually good dinner or something. But I didn't see ever how could be a child treated like this. When you uh, when you really old enough, you can see how uh, you can see so many things from different perspectives, and I don't think that a really sane person uh, could done something like this. Yeah, the only way it could have been uh, probably in movie or something, because it's just to exaggerate things and to show you uh, and to actually picture that moment they did this with the plate and with that small amount of food. But it's only to actually uh, for exaggeration. And probably we got a lot of different this type of exaggerations throughout the movie. When they trying to do something the way they could not do that in real life, because of just how people used to do those things. They never do that like in the movie or something. It's just so different. Excuse me. we stopped on the moment that I was trying to tell you how people act differently from everything happens in this movie. Uh, but of course, there is some exceptions, and they always gonna be everywhere. Some type of people that is just out of their mind, and they never could. Uh, they never could even explain themselves why they act like this. But that's just exceptions, right? We're talking about the just normal person, and we're talking about how they how real it looks in this movie. In the first place, it feels actually real, but some type of moments they are actually a little bit exaggerated because of that things I mentioned. And in the middle of this story, there was some kind of trip, and the two of them were taking a bus for to get some different city or something, like another village or something, to spend time together again. And there was actually the last time they were so happy together, because after this shit happened, they found actually how useless and how stupid this life is when you have no actual family to be together and to be surrounded by, and you have no actual like a normal summer break like any other child has, probably. It looks even worse when they try to escape to other town or village, and you can see that they do stupid shit like smoking, drinking, all that shit, and going some different places like some random club or restaurant. So, and of course they got kicked out of that place because they're not even appropriate age yet. So, and the situation is getting worse, and when you're watching this movie you feel something like uncomfortable. This is because it's just getting it's getting worse, and you feel everything, and you just empathize a lot with main characters. And I wanted some type of happy ending, or I wanted something really good happening for at least for for both of them, because I wanted actually some type of happy ending, and probably this is the first time I wanted a happy ending for a movie or TV show, because the whole movie is just a huge depressing story, and all the lives of these young adults, it's so depressing to watch actually. And even though it's probably something It's like more like a fiction, of course, and it's supposed to be for uh, it's probably supposed to be for some festival or something. I don't know. This movie looks like it was done for some type of festival or for events, like, to win some award, like, because this is actually decent stuff. It's not like everything on that festivals is decent, but this movie seems like it was gonna be there at some point. I don't know if that happened yet, but they could have won something actually, just because how beautiful colors and all the vibe is. I mean, like, this purple forest, for example, I found it really beautiful uh, with the sky being a little bit purple, and of course this is kind of color correction and post-production, and the post-production actually makes it even more purple, like that cold color with purple light. But I think it's somehow just it is the style, that purple light, all the colors, they perfectly fit the movie and the vibe of this movie, and the faces, the facial emotions of the main characters, specifically Maria. She's playing perfectly with her facial emotions, and as an actor, she knows exactly what she do, and she knows exactly how to express, how to make any impression, and how to make it easily, to make it look like it's natural, like it's just pure emotion. It's not something she's forcing, And I really found just watching her face and her facial work, like how she does that, is so interesting, because there are not a lot of actors who can do that actually, and I don't think that it's something has to do with your appearance. It's definitely some work as an actor, and you have to practice that facial work a lot to make it look so real. I mean, like, she's actually just putting viewer right into that situation, and she let you experience everything as if you right there. And there are some types of scenes, like, for example, this underwater scene, and a lot of different moments when they were swimming. And I don't know why this water is so purple, but it is, again, it's somehow the style, the vibe, that purple light is everywhere, and they probably trying to just color everything into this purple light to make it like, to just express the radiation thing. I don't know, probably they even mentioned this light and everything being that colorful, like purple, is somehow caused by radiation or something, like after that tragedy with nuclear power plant. I'm not sure if that actually happened with the water or the sky, like if that even a thing. It just seems more for the vibe and for movie to find its style, for movie to be to stand out from something similar, because I know some movies that are similar, and I know exactly the same type of story. There was a movie called Chuck Chuck Baby from UK 2023 as well, from 2 years ago, and the same type of story when 20 years later some woman arrives to her childhood village or town, and her recollection of that place is still haunting that person, and it's still the same feeling. Nothing just got past, and there is no way that person could just forget something, and nothing was forgotten actually. And this type of story is actually so popular because I even remember the exact same type of movie from Spain. Not movie, there was TV show and some others. I don't remember titles, but I know that this type of story, when you're trying to put someone in a place that person was 20 years ago and experienced some huge part of his life, and there was of course some tragedy 20 years ago, and that character was trying to get it past. And when you put that person again in that place, in the same house or apartment, it almost always works, because I think it's easy just to create something because you already have two different characters, like the version from 20 years ago and the version from now, and you can just flip-flop everything, 20 years ago moments and these days moments, and it should be interesting if the characters are interesting. So the last scene was so dramatic for me personally. I would probably never watch again the last scene of this movie, because there was just too much emotions for me from just one movie, and I would not probably experience again watching this movie, because I like it a lot. I like it so much, but I would only watch it once and never again because it's good, but it's getting you so emotional. And I don't really like being emotional, uh, especially when it's something just from the movie or from TV show. Because after I watched it, I should be focused on the content and on the live stream or on my work to create something because and because I have watched a lot of dramatic situations, got me emotional. It's so difficult to concentrate. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably good just for viewers and just for audience to experience something like that. But if you're content creator, you could be concentrated on a lot of things, and it's just difficult when you have something uh, that deep, you know, because it's actually it is that deep. It's so uh, the story is so complicated itself, but at the same time, it's so simple to watch because it's complicated because how different versions of yourself, one from 20 years ago and one from these days, are trying to coexist, you know, because in your head you're still trying to pass and you're still trying to get past everything, but actually everything reminds you your version from 20 years ago, and there's no way you can just actually get past anything. And this is somehow for me so complicated, but at the same time I can see this genre and this type of movie becomes even more popular in the future. I can see how so many studios can do something like that, and I would like to watch something like this again. But I found every story like this from like Netflix or whatever, they so dramatic and dramatically they getting emotional you so easy because of the all this, I don't know, just I would actually watch something, but probably if it is this dramatic, I would only watch it, make something for content, and then I would actually forget it for the best. It feels like, you know, when you're watching something like this, it feels like you're sitting when you actually when you are on some funeral, when you're actually watching a funeral in your real life. It's like you're right there, and the funeral is just with with all the people you know, and it's just so difficult to you know, to pull together yourself because because everything just so dramatic. So thank you for watching, guys. I think it's just a quick stream with a movie from 2023, but I would like to watch something recent, and probably I can create something with newest TV shows if there is something really good. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.